Tuesday morning, Floor Sports on PlusTvAfrica. Welcome on the show. My name is Wale Scott. I've got, well, my partner in, what do we, partner in what?
In the Lord.
In the Lord, okay. I've got Mukhail Tinubu on the show, and I've got someone on via Zoom on the show today. His name is Moses. Moses is the organizer of the Festac Half Marathon. I have a lot of questions to ask this guy this morning, but I'll come to Moses later. The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, yesterday unveiled the official kits of Team Nigeria for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Osinbajo charged the team to always remember that they were standing in the shoulders of giants as they prepare to depart Nigeria. He urged the team to portray the Olympian ideals of teamwork, respect, and fair play. Professor Osinbajo then assured the team of the prayers and support of all Nigerians as they compete with athletes from other nations. In his remarks, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, said the athletes were ready to make the country proud and presented to the Vice President the Made in Nigeria kits for the Nigerian contingents.
On behalf of Team Nigeria athletes going to Tokyo, I want to specially thank Mr. President and the federal government for the great support we received financially as well as facilities and equipment. Your Excellency, Team Nigeria is going to Tokyo as a disciplined and patriotic team and will do nothing to challenge the image of our country. And on behalf of all the athletes, I am assuring you and our Nigerians that we'll do our very best and win multiple medals and bring glory to our country. Thank you so very much.
Team Nigeria promising Nigerians that they will make us proud. Moses Nwanze, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Moses.
Wale Scott.
Now, Moses, what brought about the idea of the Festac Half Marathon? What brought that idea?
Thank you, Wale. That's a very good question. I lived in Festac. I virtually grew up in Festac, and I find the place a community that's like a family living together. And we are also aware that Festac, is a brand that is associated with culture. And we are also aware that Festac hosted some very big events, which are called Festac 77. And I've seen Festac, transit from, phases to phases. And even after I moved out of Festac, I found myself always going back to Festac all the time. I have a very strong affinity with Festac, and it's like home, away from home for me. And I've been into sports development, sports management, and all of that, before now. I've done a number of sports events in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And I thought that what could make Festac, resonate, what could bring back the life of Festac, what could make Festac different, what can one do, to re-energize Festac and, celebrate that cultural heritage, that we have in that city. And, well, I just poured water on my head and the idea just popped up, said Festac Marathon. What's the Festac Marathon? What are the benefits? What are the objectives? What am I trying to achieve? First, celebration of unity, it's a festival of fitness. Festac will be re-energized. Festac will be reprojected to the world. People will get to know that Festac, do exist, and Festac is a community that has, every social-cultural value. You can live in Festac for 10 years, 100 years without even going on because everything is there. So when I thought of what the event would do for Festac, in terms of bringing in people from outside Festac, come together and rebuild the brand. I was like, wow, let me give this a try. Well, in everything you do in life, you want to commit it to God and ask God to help you. And by the time I threw the idea to one or two persons, like, wow, Moses, that's a good one. Someone like Eddie Lawani, who is a very strong tool behind.
Moses, Mo, I was going to come there. Chioma Ajunwa, the first individual gold medal winner for Nigeria, has actually endorsed this marathon. So my question initially, Mukhail, was that is this about helping the residents in Festac to become healthy? Or is it about actually, are you planning to breed future marathon runners there, or is just for Festac residents to actually stay healthy, I'm confused there. Because Chioma Ajunwa comes to endorse it,
Shall we let Moses answer that, or sure?
You have a question to ask.
Let me give my thoughts on it. Festac, as Moses said, is a recognized brand in Lagos for development. In Nigeria, for development, for cultural specificity. And you can always go to Festac and you always know where you are, you always know what you can get. And the development of sports in Nigeria, I think, is a marathon in itself. You have to constantly work to improve upon what has already been established. So this is a good opportunity, not just to encourage the locals and everyone else around Lagos and even around Nigeria to come to Festac for something as magnanimous as a marathon, but also to develop potential future Olympians.
Let me take a swipe at Mo this morning. I was speaking to a colleague. I will call his name because we are not scared. I was speaking to a colleague this morning. His name is Bawo. Now, Bawo lives in Festac, and Bawo says, which road they won't run? That most of the roads in Festac are bad.
Yes. Part of what Festac Marathon is going to bring to Festac is, development. All right? Because we're not going to run on potholes. There's going to be, some palliative measures that will take place. We're going to, we're going to patch up all those roads. And again, we believe in the local government. So we believe that the local
Okay, I think the network is breaking there. Yes. But when he gets back, of course, we'll have him. But I think it's a fantastic idea. Yes. If areas, see, there's a funny way that sports tends to bring people together. If you have a Festac half marathon, you are sure of one thing. For the next 1 year, violence will decrease in Festac.
And also what he said, the vision of what they're trying to achieve, the possibilities for improving the area itself.
Because he says, yes, there are potholes there. Yes, the roads are bad. But in the course of this marathon, they're actually planning to work on the road.
It's a good opportunity for sponsors to step in and help develop the locale with businesses as well as roads, facilities, and other infrastructure. So I think it's a genius and visionary idea that we should see more of. Because sports is the one thing that in Nigeria, no matter how much we complain about politics or anything else, job, social life, sports always seems to calm us down, bring us to a place of absolute focus and dedication to one simple goal.
Now, I want to honestly confess today. When I was younger, when I was in primary school, I used to beat up on the light-skinned kids, the white kids, And I had to be explained to by my parents that, listen, because the color of their skin is different from yours, doesn't make them different from you. So with time, I got to understand it. But I don't get it now in my adult life, how you can hate me because of the color of my skin.
Well,
why?
If you see two babies, two different races interact with each other, you understand that racism, colorism, all of those things are not things that we're born with. It's social factors that really ingrain
It's
them into us.
imparted in you by someone.
Yes. Along the way, we pick up this notion that someone who looks a little different than you is wrong, that you are normal, and your awareness of your own self, you can only find value in yourself as a person as being the standard, the norm, if someone else who looks different is wrong.
So sad, really. So sad. Okay, I've got Moses back. Quickly, I'll ask one last question to Moses and then we'll wrap this up. Now, Moses, how much is at stake here? Because it's Nigeria. We want MON, but we also want EY with it too, you know?
Well, it's sorry about the money, but of course, that would encourage people. That would inspire participation, okay? But we are staking 2 million naira, as a grand prize, and that's going to be split between the male and female, winners. So we're going to have the first, second, third male, first, second, third female, and then they'll split the $2 million. It's the first side, as you grow, will increase the stakes, but for now, maybe Wallace Scott should just give us like 10 million naira. I promise you,
Amen.
Give it to the winners.
Amen. now, before I let you go, Moses.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we going to be seeing scouts there to actually look for potential marathoners tomorrow?
Tomorrow, you mean October 2nd?
No, what I mean is, are we going to be seeing scouts there who will look out for potential marathoners for Nigeria when I mean tomorrow, I mean in future?
Yeah, definitely, yes. It's an opportunity for us to discover new talents. I know Festac has brought out so many, superstars, both in entertainment and news, sports and the likes. So, because of the media, what's it called? Outreach we're going to create for the event, aside from scouts being there physically to monitor and look out for potential athletes, scouts can also watch on television because we're going to beam it live, okay? And also we are going to beam it on some electronic billboards around Lagos, okay? So if you're not at home, if you're on the road, bystanders can also stand and watch the marathon, on electronic billboards. So there will be scouts, definitely. I believe so. Scouts are always everywhere, available wherever there's sporting events, because they know that it's a good opportunity for them to find potential athletes that will be big ambassadors, for Nigeria.
Moses, thank you very much, and please promise us that you will come on the show again before the marathon comes up. We have to have you again before the marathon.
Yes, I promise I'll be there, and thank you very much, Wale. I really appreciate this. Man.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Yeah. Now, Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson has condemned the racist online abuse suffered by black players in the England soccer team after their defeat in the final of the Euro 2020, saying he hoped the abusers crawled back under their rocks. Black players in England's soccer team have been subjected to a storm of online racist abuse after their defeat in the final of Euro 2020, drawing with condemnation from the squad's manager, royalty, religious leaders, and politicians. Marcus Rashford is 23. Jadon Sancho is 21. Bukayo Saka is only 19, were the targets of the abuse after they missed spot kicks in a penalty shootout with Italy, which settled Sunday's final match after the game finished 1-1.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Like millions of people across this country, I woke up this morning sad and rueful, but also filled with pride and hope and with thanks to Gareth Southgate and the whole England squad for the best campaign by any England team in any tournament that I can remember. They made history, they lifted our spirits, they brought joy to this country, and I know that they will continue to do so. And to those who have been directing racist abuse at some of the players, I say shame on you, and I hope you will crawl back under the rock from which you emerged. Because this entire team played like heroes, and I'm sure that this is just the beginning of their achievements, and I say bring on Qatar next year, and let's also dare to start to hope that together with Ireland, our United Kingdom can host the World Cup in 2030.
I think Boris Johnson, British Prime Minister, has just said it all. He says, bring on Qatar next year. We're ready for that. But they got to the finals. When these guys were doing well, we're praising them. Now that they did badly and they missed their penalties, Bukayo Saka has been told to go back to Nigeria. Jadon Sancho has been told to go back to the jungle. And Boris says, shame on you.
Half of the young, vibrant players that are promising a future for this English national team are black. When you look at Jude Bellingham of Dortmund, at his age, he's already a staple in the squad, in the first team squad. And you think to yourself that when you tell these people to go back home, are you really willing to sacrifice all of the promise of glory that they offer you in this critical time? Because these players are going to be here for the next decade or so. They're going to be the ones pushing. Sterling will at some point have to retire, maybe within the next 7 years. But he has done a lot already to already be considered a veteran. The rest of them, the Jadon Sancho, who is 20, Rashford is still pretty young. 21.
Bukayo Saka is 19.
19. All these players are the ones who are going to carry the three lions on their badge, on their chest for the next decade. And they're the ones who are going to promise glory. Even if they didn't win this, and even if they don't win much towards the end of till the very end of their international careers, they've already achieved something that which is the point of sports. They've already achieved the point of making the English audience dream of glory, dream of success. And when was the last time they could do that? When was the last time they had reason to believe?
My point is, he didn't come home, he went Rome. But Boris Johnson just said something. There's a particular comedian, a Nigerian comedian. His name is Jedi. Jedi said, put a picture of the Super Eagles national team and put a fake picture of the French Le Bleu. And then the French Le Bleu looks like an African team. And the Super Eagles of Nigeria look like a foreign team because we have more half-castes, more white, light-skinned guys in our team than the French have. They've got more African names than we have. N'Golo Kante, Paul Pogba.
Even Benzema with his light skin is partially...
And I've always known the French national team to be like that. Ibrahim Ba, those days, Zinedine Zidane, Algeria.
Even Belgium have a bunch of African
I don't
mixed
see
race.
the fans insulting the black players in the team.
You see, one thing I want you to remember is that during the Second World War, the Americans, when the black Americans went off to war, one thing they always found interesting was that no matter where they went, there was less racism suffered by them. When the black Americans fought in Vietnam, the Vietnamese showed less racism to them than their fellow soldiers. Same thing with England. And till today, it's still happening. And honestly, as much as I appreciate Boris Johnson's words, I feel like it's hollow because politicians like him take advantage of racist sentiments when they're trying to push an agenda. When he and his likes were trying to push Brexit, it was sentiments of racism that they relied on to push their agenda. So really, I don't know if politicians are the ones who can change what's going on. At the end of the day, it is institutions like the royal family. It is institutions like the English national team, the FA, that can push change and force social change on the...
But one thing we are sure of is that racism is real.
Yes.
And it's in England.
Yes.
Olympic team members arrived at the newly opened Tokyo 2020 Olympic Village on Tuesday, which they will call home during their stay, with strict coronavirus rules preventing them from leaving except to train and compete. The village bubble will house more than 11,000 athletes who will have to adhere to restrictions, including a ban on singing and chanting during events, daily coronavirus tests, and mandatory masks. Tokyo entered a new state of emergency on Monday amid a rise in coronavirus cases. The Games, postponed from last year because of the pandemic, run from July 23rd to August 8th, while the state of emergency, the capital's 4th, lasts until August 22, shortly before the Paralympics begin. Coronavirus is taking really, and it's taking the shine off this Olympics. We won't have spectators. The athletes are going to be in a bubble, 11,000 athletes in a bubble. They only have to come out to compete and go back or train, and they get tested every day.
I think the irony of this whole situation is that when we come out on the other side of it, we will relish the accomplishments that we've come to have during this whole period. Because sports, for example, is something that strives and does well even at the most adverse times. And there's no other time that I think has been more had more adverse effect on athletes, sports, fans than this period in time. So I think even though the spectators will not be in the stands, even though they will have to watch many of the events at home, and the
exactly my
athletes,
point. You see, the essence of the Olympics from when I was born till now has been to bring people together, to bring nations together, bring fans together from different walks of life. Now, this time around, yes, the people are going to come together, but they are only going to be athletes. The beauty of a British man, an American, an Australian, an Irishman in Tokyo to watch the Olympics is gone.
Well, I mean, they will still line up on the same tracks, the same fields.
The athletes, not the spectators.
But the thing sports offers us is inspiration. It offers us a chance to see people cohabiting and working together as a team, to stand up for something that we want to aspire to. And even though spectators will not be there, even though the athletes will have to operate within bubbles, they will still force us to appreciate the moment that we have, that we can still host, however in a subdued manner, these kinds of events because this is the kind of thing that will inspire us to hope for a better day once this pandemic is over.
Now, British and Irish Lion star Maro Itoje has strongly condemned the behavior of fans both at Wembley Stadium and on social media on the day that England lost to Italy in the final of Euro 2020. Many people were seen trying to force their way into the ground prior to the match, with fights then breaking out, and after Gareth Southgate's side lost the game on penalties, racist abuse was directed online to the players that missed the spot kicks. Itoje said that the actions of a few had tarnished the experience for many who had been inspired by England's performances throughout the tournament, and stressed that more needs to be done to hold these people accountable.
It's appalling, to be honest. It's appalling. I think, quite frankly, the behaviour of a fraction of the fans throughout the day wasn't very good from what I was picking up from over here in South Africa, from people storming the stadium, through people, the behaviour before the game wasn't great, and it only got worse after the game. I was speaking to one of my friends, and I actually said that the behaviour before the game wasn't good, but if England lose this game, is going to get worse, and it's a shame that a fraction of fans literally spoil the occasion for everybody else. There's a large proportion of fans that went to Wembley, who bought their ticket, who are great football fans and did their piece, but they were ruined by a large amount of people who were racially abusing some of the black players that were there, some of those brave individuals that took up to take those penalties.
The Rugby Union condemns racism in all forms. Mukhail, Tinubu, thank you very much. On the show today. My name is Wally Scott. Join us same time tomorrow, same station, on Plus Sports, on PlusTvAfrica. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.